I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just up it good. No, I'll just do it in front of her, shouldn't I?
Going! He's kept going! He scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header into the back of the net! That's Coleman! I think it's Armstrong made it again. And a superb goal! Chimney did it! Lisa! Rose tries to get the ball in. Wilkinson! The Warren his first goal in 13 days. Starts making his own goal. Madden for the score. Oh, Paddy Madden. It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we've got a small house, but we've got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Really hard to do a minute silence via audio format. That's gonna. But
I was doing it on behalf of both of us. Don't worry.
just rest assured, my sadness and my emotions were very much real, as I've had to tell to every woman who's ever fallen in love with me. Not the current one though, because I've got emotions now. Hello. Speaking of emotions, it's SK3 TV. This is the 104th episode of the show for the thinking county fan. As long as what the county fan is thinking is. Yeah, let's just scratch the names. It's going to be McNulty, isn't it? Let's be honest. More on that shortly. Yes, we are here for the next hour or so, looking back at what has been a tumultuous week. Never used that from my mouth. I can't get my words out this week. I'm all very coughing. It's just, it's all going to shit. But luckily, we've got someone who can speak. It's Dave. Hello, mate.
Hi, mate. What a week. It's been a sad one, really. I think I've used this terminology. I can't get words out now. But the phrase that I've gone with is, you've got a family member you know is going to die. So you get yourself prepared and then they die and then you realise you weren't prepared at all. That's how I felt yesterday when we got the news that our greatest manager, Dave Challinor, has mutually left the club.
It's been a wild week because as soon as the Bolton game finished, I was like, oh, thank God for that. Thank God that's over. Thank God it's over. I can have a break now because we discussed it's felt like a slog this past season. I feel mentally and physically exhausted by it. And then we had Sam on last Monday who dropped the bombshell that he's leaning towards thinking Challinor would leave. To that point, we had a lot of feedback from that. People saying it does. Yeah, I don't think Sam would say it. People talking sense and saying, well, Sam wouldn't say it. If he's someone who's very careful about the words and phrasing that he uses.
But if you read between the lines, you would know from that episode, exclusive here on SK3 TV, that he was going to leave.
You said it, Dave. I wouldn't presume to be so bold that it was an SK3 TV exclusive, but if you're calling it that, then who am I to argue, mate? Who am I to argue? I'll tell you what else I can't argue with. You can't argue with some fantastic scram because we are brought to you. Okay, that's a fucking link. Nice. That is. God, it's a new era. It's a new era of a managerless Stockport County. We're not managerless. I manage that link. Yes, we are proudly brought to you by Blackbird Kitchen. Get in the episode description and find their links. Loads of stuff available now and coming soon as well. We'll have more on that very soon. Also in the admin talking of an event that's coming soon on the 22nd of June, just 3 days before my birthday, in case anyone's wondering. It is the launch night of the Ben Hinchliffe Gin at Basque. All sold out pretty much immediately. I think you may have got the last two.
You got the last. There was 4 left when I got one. 3 left after I got one.
There we go, sorted. I've also pre-ordered a bottle of the gin, so I'll be drinking that at the bus stop afterwards. Everyone's welcome. I'll let you have a little bit out of the cap. I don't think it is a cap. I think it's a stopper because it's very, very trendy. Yeah. Right, and also like, subscribe, do all that. Yeah, it's good. It's good, isn't it? But without further ado, we should get on to what started out as me thinking, oh, it's a nice chilled week, and then it's been absolutely chaos, which we'll get on to after this. Well, so before we get on to management matters, there was a small matter of the retained list, which we were told to expect by weekend, and which actually came surprisingly early, to the point that I'd not yet switched on notifications on Twitter. So I came very late to it. A surprising. You wouldn't have thought there'd be much capacity for surprise, given the low number of players who are out of contract this summer, but we were very much surprised, were we not?
I mean, first of all, lots of people were surprised by people under contract being on the retain list, which blew my mind.
Every fucking year, Dave. Why is Corey Adai on there? Because he's contracted.
Yeah, but talking of surprise, I obviously on our last episode, I'd driven back from London that day, forgetting that the next day, after sitting on the M6 for all that time, as I mentioned, that the next day on the Wednesday I was working in Birmingham, so I spent a lot of time on the M6 again. However, the surprise element came because when I drive, you have my notifications off on everything because I'm a responsible driver.
The responsible driver, yeah.
And
you want to be around for your kids.
Exactly. And then was stopped off for some petrol in Cheadle Hume, got my phone out, and the WhatsApp groups were going off real, and it was the Ben Hinsliff announcement at that point, which that one wasn't, but it was again. We were expecting it. We're still really sad about it. But yeah, Odin Bailey not being offered anything is quite possibly one of the worst non-contract offers I think I can remember. He was absolutely instrumental in that season.
Someone should play devil's advocate though, because there was speculation back in January that he had a very good long-term offer on the table. So is it a case of we've seen how much he's been offered and we're not going to come close to it? I think it's one of them. When we see where he does go, I think we'll know what exactly has happened there. I think we'll be able to read between the lines there.
Do you think it's obviously the annual Bradford signing?
I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, Bradford fans seem to think so, but to be fair, they probably think that about every single player who we're getting rid of. I would imagine. I think that's just the default setting now. Obviously, there's talk of Sheffield Wednesday as well. There's also broadly a lot of talk about Sheffield Wednesday and Leicester being big hitters in this league. I think it's far too early to tell. I think we're going to be well into July with signings being made before we can even start to look at where they're going to be, because they're very much unknown quantities, those two. But at the same time, if Odin Bailey was to sign for one of those two, it's a step up.
And also, the rumours are that Jamie Vardy's going to end up with one. So
it'll be Sheffield Wednesday. I'm convinced of it. He had a big falling out with Rudkin at Leicester, so I can't see. He seems to be the main reason for Leicester's woes, John Rudkin, by the sounds of it. He's been getting roundly slagged off for about 5 years now.
Yeah, I hope Sheffield Wednesday don't do a poll on whether to sign him or somebody else.
Oh God! Oh, see, that'd be nice if it went full circle, wouldn't it? What's George Donnelly doing now? So that was certainly a surprise, Odin Bailey. I mean, well, it was a surprise in terms of his performances this season and then not getting a new contract. But as we said, if it is indeed the case that he's got to January and said, "Look, I've got no intention of staying. I want to go to Club X for amount of money Y or whatever," then we won't have offered him anything technically. So I suppose.
See, I don't think that will have happened, and I know it probably has, but he loved it here. We made him fall back in love with football.
It really
did really low, wasn't he, when he was on loan? Before he came on loan first time, he hated it at Salford.
Yeah.
So,
as you would.
Yeah, he'll go with our best wishes. He helped Lily, especially, fall in love with County. He's always been great with her and all the other fans that you see him with. He's never got enough. He can never give anybody enough time, and not only on the pitch but off the pitch, he'll be a big miss for sure.
But you framed that in a really nice way, that he managed to solidify Lily's love of County. But given that we are entering what we're calling the banter years 2 electric boogaloo, in a couple of years' time, he could be the one to blame for her getting into County, because she's not had the heartache yet.
Yeah, she's not. To be fair, she didn't cry this time, but when Paddy Madden left, she cried. But that was only because she never had a picture with him before, and that's obviously been put right. But no, you could be right there. Odin Bailey to blame.
Yeah, but not. I suppose in a way, he was the major headline from the retain list release, because I think there was an expectation that Ben Hinchliffe would leave. Something I kind of understood, but at the same time, watching his interview, which I was putting off for days for
I
obvious
cried,
reasons.
by the way. I'm not lying.
That's not a man who
In fact, I
wanted
sent
to
you
leave.
a picture of a tear rolling down my eye, didn't I? So much I'm
He
not
did.
lying.
It's true. He did. It's true. Yeah, that's. I don't think there's really any words that can do that one justice, because it does feel as though it wasn't really necessary either. But of course, coming with that, of course, because the release of a player like Ben Hinchliffe demands a big fanfare to be made of it. First thing that we all noticed, I think, was that there was no quote from the manager in the
That was
the
clue number
announcement.
one, wasn't it?
That was clue number one. But then it would have been funny if he just said, "Oh, tried to get rid of him and I fucking couldn't." Cheers, Mark. It would have been great if that was just his final comment. I'd have loved that. But yeah, so you would expect. I mean, given that Hinchliffe has said he wants to play for another 5 or 6 years or so. So I think we can rule out retirement for now. Let's not rule out a comeback based on what Mark Stott said.
Yeah. He's got something planned for him, hasn't he? So you would expect a coach. Maybe he's coming back next week as manager and nobody's picked up on it yet.
Right, let's get on to this then. We should do it.
Hold on,
because
just before we do, can we
Go
just give an SK3 TV thanks to Callum Connolly as well, who was brilliant every
Yes.
time he played for us.
They were just solid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He'll be missed.
that might be one of the biggest misses of the three, just because it's handy to have a player like him who can step in a number of positions, and that's something that's a signing that when you sign that type of player, it goes under the radar. It'll be oh, why have we signed him? Look at Miles Hippolyte, for God's sake. Why have we signed him? What's going on here? But it works out. You got to have. Especially given that we seem to be dialing back a bit budget-wise. I don't think we'll be having as big a squad next season. So that sort of player is invaluable. Looks like Tranmere is where he's off to, which makes a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah, it does make that'll be a great signing for them at that level.
I was convinced... so at first I thought, oh, maybe he'll go to Bradford as well. And then I thought, oh, no, he's already been at Bradford. And then I remembered that that's Neil Byrne.
Oh yeah,
just interchangeable to me, apparently. But we should get on to the big news of the week. In that case, probably the ultimate in a classy touch. The statement, it was very classy all round. People can't seem to grasp that it's mutual. I've seen people particularly on Facebook and Twitter, people who can't seem to grasp that he's neither quit nor been sacked.
yeah, mutual.
I think, yeah, but actually mutual. I mean, I know it gets said a lot, but this is the most mutual it can possibly get. Was it the time then, Dave? Do you think?
Time will tell, but I think if ever there's a time to start afresh, it is now. We've lost Simon Wilson, Ben Hinchliffe, and obviously now the manager. So as I think Mark Stott put in his statement, new era really is a new era. We're going to get lots of new faces around. And if you want the manager to come in, you want him to come in now before a transfer window's even open, get their ideas in, get their players in, get their philosophy across, and then you can go and attack the new season. I am in the camp of be careful what you wish for. There was lots of people
absolutely.
Who didn't rate Challinor, didn't like his football this season, which, look, that's a fair comment. The football wasn't great. But one thing that you could almost guarantee with the Dave Challinor team was top 6, top 7, whatever the playoffs is in the league that you're in. And he's always got that for us, if not better.
It sounds weird to say, but I mean, it's normally the sort of comment you level when you talk about Alan Lord. You'll say history will be very kind to him. And it sounds weird to say that about Dave Challinor, given what he's done for us and what he's achieved. But in terms of these last 2 seasons, I think over the next year or two, we're going to see just how well he did because it's all well and good finishing 3rd twice and missing out on promotion, but we were outperforming our budget. We were probably top 8, maybe top 10 budget. Maybe it crept up to a top 6 budget at times. But we were outperforming our budget. And whether another manager will come in and do that, well, we don't know. It's going to be very interesting. It's also going to be very interesting, given there are some people who've come fairly late to County, or fairly recent to County, who will only have known Dave Challinor as manager.
Yeah.
Which sounds bonkers to think, but it's very much the case. More at this point than at any point in our history has that been the case, where people will have only known one manager. And it'd be interesting to see what it does to season ticket prices, especially given that we've managed to fuck that up as well.
So I'd like to. I broke the news yesterday, I believe. I just went to check. This is how my Monday morning went yesterday. Did a bit of work, and then I thought, I wonder how many tickets Ben Hinchliffe sold for his testimonial. So
we've all been there.
And flashed up reservations are available. So I go on the reservations, and the reservations have been there for a while, but it's actually said this time buy now. So you bought now. Said the price was £519. Now I'm hoping that is the new price rather than the renewal early bird price. That remains to be seen.
So I've done a bit of digging's been done on that.
Okay.
So the co-op board will obviously in their meetings with the club, it seems that they have been told what the increases were, which was 5% increase in League One, a 10% increase if we'd gone up to the Championship.
Okay.
This 519, I believe, is beyond even the 10% increase. So there seems to be a prevailing thought that the club have just picked that number as a figure to test the system. I'm not having that. A conspiracy theorist might suggest that they wanted to get this price out there, put the feelers out to see if people would be willing to pay for it before dialing back and saying, we've listened to you, which has happened before.
Many times before.
So that's probably worth bearing in mind. But it's also unfortunate that, because it's quite clear from the fact that Sam and John both discussed Dave Challinor's future the minute the game finished on Sunday, to Sam's comments on here on Monday, the fact that journalists had a hold of it by that point, we've not been caught on the hop by Dave Challinor going. It's not like it's all hands on deck dealing with the press and the media stuff for that. So for this season ticket thing to happen accidentally, I think they know there are fans out there who will dig this. Well, it wasn't hard to dig because it went into your ticketing account, didn't it?
Yeah.
If you were going on to buy if you're a season ticket holder who was going on to buy a Ben Hinchliffe testimonial ticket, then you would find out there and then.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll wait and see. They'll want the new manager in post opening before they officially announce the season tickets. Because I found out today that there are some people in the world that really will buy a season ticket or not buy it based on who the manager is, which I find
bonkers.
Absolutely bonkers. Your fans will come. Sorry, the fans won't come and go. Maybe they will. But the players will come and go. Your managers will come and go. Your owners will come and go. You might change stadiums. Not Stockport County, just football in general. The one constant at any football club is the fans. And look, if we went to watch Ian Bogey and Kalazic and the like, and Neil Young, bloody bring on Jim McNulty or whoever it is. I'm moving on slightly here, but we'll come back. But whoever the manager is, you see lots of whimpers. Oh, it's crap. Give them the chance to do the welcome interview, to get their initials on a new jumper that they're going to get, and give it a good go before you start slagging people off. And I'm testament to this. I overly supported Simon Rusk till it was far too late to be supporting Simon Rusk, much to my detriment. So I'm not just saying words that I don't follow up on here. But to start with, get behind him. This manager that's coming in hasn't got to reinvent the wheel. He's not taking over a team that's been relegated, that's threatened relegation. He's taking over a team that's finished third in the last 2 years that might just need some tweaks to push on again. And we might not push on. Who knows? But it's not a big crisis he's coming into. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah, you'd jump at the opportunity, wouldn't you, to take
a massive draw, yeah.
That job, yeah. So on the we'll come back to I think we'll we'll end the show with some top Dave Challinor moments. I think because you've put the feelers out there, and we've got a list of those top games. So I think it'd be a good way to finish a show
Yeah.
with them. So what we'll do, we should get into the names. So going chronologically, Steven Gerrard was a name that was out there, and Sam Byrne had to very quickly say, yeah, Gerrard and Phil Neville, it's a no.
Yeah.
So I maintain that Steven Gerrard will have been spoken to at some point with a view to us being in the Championship. I will die on that hill. That's exactly the type of thing. No, it's exactly the type of person Mark Stott would go for. We know he likes an ex-player. He likes a big name. Perfect. That's right up his street. Don't think Gerrard would be that up for it in the Championship. He'd probably take a lot of persuading. Certainly wouldn't be up for it in League One. Bang, done. We can probably rule out, for the most part, the celebrity big name appointment. Full stop. Wayne Rooney, Robbie Savage. I'm delighted with that. Actually delighted with the fact we're not. There was a genuine fear at one point that was the way we would go, and I just had horrible visions of us being Wayne Rooney's Stockport County in the press until the end of time, or until he gets sacked in October for being shit. One of the two. So to have that ruled out on one end of the scale, fantastic. The other end of the scale, my other massive worry was Steve Rusk 2.0.
33-1 by all accounts.
33-1.
Odds for my liking for that man.
Yeah, but that just goes to show how volatile the manager market is. You can put a fiver on someone. I could have put a fiver on Mourinho and he'd pop up in those odds because there's so little going on there. But we seem to get through the first few days of these. You'd have these names getting linked, and you think, yeah, it makes sense that they'd be linked with it. And then this name popped up of Ben Wilkinson, son of Howard, and I had to go and have a lie down. I felt like I was going to get one of my headaches coming on because I thought we can't do this again. I felt like Jesse in Breaking Bad. He's like, he can't keep getting away with this. Oh, I nearly lost it. I nearly absolutely lost it. But luckily, it seems to have been. Probably Wellens, McNulty, and Artell seems to be the three.
I think Ravel's in there as well, isn't he? Alex Ravel from
Stephen. I don't want a Southerner.
Nope.
I want to go full Huddersfield. I want Northern football.
Just going back to Robbie Savage quickly. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but one of the rumour accounts tweeted that Robbie Savage's Forest Green were keen on signing Alex Reid, and Robbie Savage quoted it saying, "No, we're not." So he's
done it several times. He's done it a couple of times today as well. Like them, being linked with the players. Got no, we're not. No. We will be signing 73 players, but it won't be one of these.
No.
So those names. So McNulty, Ravel, Wellens, Artell. I've not been from the very start, from when his name came up on here last Tuesday. Sorry, I'm fully on the McNulty train, and I can't quite work out why. But I don't know if it's something about it being an ex-player. But Challinor was an ex-player, and I'll happily admit I didn't want him at the time because I thought he hated us. That's how stupid I am. Right,
you know
if we
can't have Wellens, by the way, because everybody's spelling Wellens with an INS, and it started already. Sorry,
no,
carry on, but I can't deal.
No, people. It's just. I mean, as the resident pedant, I've got my work cut out here. I've got a lot. I wanted to watch Dear England after this. I'm going to have loads of business to be getting on with. A name that I was surprised didn't pop up as much. So it only tended to pop up in relation to fans mentioning him, and surprisingly wasn't linked by any of the reputable or not so reputable accounts. Tom Cleverley.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, depending who you believe, he's got either a son or a daughter, or a son and daughter in our youth setups.
Yeah.
Travels up here to watch them on a Sunday. Would probably fancy a move closer to home. Did well at Watford. as well. To be fair to him, very difficult to do well at Watford in the Championship, but he did all right and then got sacked for no reason whatsoever, really. And seems to have done well at Plymouth, but people will counter that by saying only when he got Derek Adams in to work with him. That seems to be the point at which it's turned around for him a bit. So that was a name that didn't pop up. Darren Ferguson popped up, which is something we said as a joke about 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I think around the time of the Mothersill signing, actually. I think it was then. I think it was like, oh, Peterborough will have our pants down again. We've already got a song for Darren Ferguson, though, so wouldn't have been the worst move in the world.
With the Peterborough theme, if we are going to be in the business of paying compensation, I'm surprised Luke Williams hasn't been in the conversation also. I really, really like him as a manager. I know he started well at Peterborough, then struggled. I just really like him, and he loves us as well. He's always spoken highly of us, hasn't he?
He's one I did always think Luke Williams would be a good shout in the future. There was a point after we got back into League Two, I kind of thought, well, if Challinor does end up taking another job like moving on up and taking a job elsewhere, I did think Williams would maybe, but yet not mentioned at all.
Yeah.
But I suppose, well, Peterborough, he's front and centre on all the pictures for Peterborough now of like the new kit and all that, so too late now.
Yeah.
Too late. But, interested to see Darren Moore throwing his hat in the ring.
So in the Last Man Standing chat, somebody said they've been told and it's definitely going to be him. Can you guess who that person who said that is? Has been named on here recently. Broken Clock.
Someone who lives in Wales.
Yeah, him.
God, of course it is. Of course it is. Well, we can immediately discount that. It's a weird one with Darren Moore because I always got the sense, maybe it's because my main exposure to him was that playoff game with Sheffield Wednesday
against Peterborough, funnily enough.
Against Peterborough, funnily enough, and I just saw him as like a proper motivator who players had. If you can turn a deficit like that round, then wow, that's got to be a good appointment. But no, I think it'd be very underwhelming if we appointed the man who got sacked for being bottom of the league we're in. That'd be bad. I know Vale weren't expected to do much, but to be that far adrift at that point is piss poor. And they did actually. I know the pressure was off because they were already relegated, but their form picked up a lot after.
Good here, didn't they? Edgeley Park when they played it.
And I've not seen anyone actually saying that Moore is a great shout for any job. Any job he gets linked with, you'll constantly see people saying, "Well, no." Fans of every club he's managed just saying, "No, he's shit." Even Sheffield Wednesday, he got Sheffield Wednesday promoted, and even they just. I think even now they wouldn't have him back, which is bonkers, but apparently so. That's not the wildest name that came up though. Big fan of. So Pete O'Rourke has been one of the biggest voices. Peter O'Rourke, it's been like a fever dream because 1 minute he was tweeting about who our manager's going to be. The next minute he was tweeting about Marco Silva going to Benfica. And it's like, wow, this is a space we're occupying now. God, this is so cool. He loves tweeting about Lee Johnson.
Yeah, he does.
Who is now part of the City Football Group. And at one point I did think, oh, that might be a bit of us. That might be us. Yeah. But yeah, I do get the feeling that Peter O'Rourke is in the pocket of a lot of agents, and my feeling would be that that's what's happened with him reporting about Ethan Pye signing a new contract. I'm not having it.
Yeah, because that's gone quiet on that front, hasn't it?
Yeah, also, I think it's just a case of his agent getting his name out there now.
On the manager front, I think the best job Richie Wellens has ever done is managed to get a large proportion of the Stockport County fan base want him. Because let's think about it. He did great at Leyton Orient a couple of years ago with Tottenham's academy squad, pretty much. Then you give him a squad that's not very good, and if he didn't have Ballard, they'd have gone down. No questions about it. He's ended the season slagging all the players off, almost angling to get sacked and get a payoff.
Yeah.
And people talk about Dave Challinor had a bad temperament and he's a big bully and he's nasty. And you want Richie Wellens. I think he's probably one of the more angry ones. And I just don't get this whole obsession with wanting to come in. And I hope we don't get him.
I think it's very Challinor adjacent. I think the whole point of doing this now is to get new voices, not just around the training ground and the pitch, but just around the club in general. I think he'd probably do well. He'd probably have us in the top 6 and what have you. But will it once again, with his personality, would it again come at the expense of players, not getting a chance in the squad, just having a manager's mind made up on them very early? Because it's going to be a clean slate, whoever comes out. It should be a clean slate for these players. Do you think there are any players for whom they're already too far down the road and no clean slate is going to make a difference, that they're already
No,
done?
do you know what? I don't. I think Owen Moxley, he's one of the players that I'm more excited to see what he might be able to do. Jack Diamond might not be a wing-back anymore. Muddershill might not be a bench warmer anymore. There's loads and loads of players that you think Owen Dodson, he might be good because we've signed him permanently, which we missed out before. But yeah, it's an exciting time. A new manager comes in, new ideas, players can be rejuvenated. Lewis Bate, who knows? Take the captaincy off him, and then our biggest criticism of him chasing captain's armbands won't be what we're thinking about. Speaking of captain's armbands, the most ridiculous manager shout I've seen in the Stockport County supporters group was Ollie Norwood.
Right. People, can we stop assuming that elderly players want to be managers immediately? Can we stop assuming that Dave Conlon or Clint Hill want the job? Given that Clint Hill's done interviews where he says he doesn't want to be a manager, let's nip that in the bud. Dave Coxon, as someone called him on Facebook yesterday, which bodes really well. If fans can't even remember his fucking name after nearly 10 years here, then what chance has he got of doing a top job? Dave Conlon, you would imagine, would be staying. You would expect, so. Unless Dave Challinor decides he's worked with him, because he's kept him on even after he started bringing his own staff in. He was kept on. I would hope that he stays for a new manager, just purely it's the best tool a new manager can have. Someone who gets on with all the players of all ages. Someone who, as much as it's a cliche, knows the club and all that. So he should be invaluable. But in terms of the rest of the coaching staff, I mean, you'd imagine it'll become clear once Dave Challinor's plans and the new manager's plans become clear. But I'm sort of hoping for a bit of a clearing of the decks. Looking at you, Nick Colgan. I don't want him to become a scapegoat, but at the same time, we need to have someone, because you've had 2 years of working with Corey Adai and the same glaring deficiencies are still obvious in his game.
Poor Corey. He's not even played this week and he's getting pelters. But I agree. It would have been a perfect time to maybe, I don't know, offer our greatest ever player, goalkeeper, appearance maker for a goalkeeper that job now, but obviously doesn't want to take it. Do you think part of the reason Challinor wanted to leave was not so much because Wilson left, but he didn't want to be told what to do and given directions by Damien Allen? Because I just think
Damien Allen, who he signed for Colwyn Bay as well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Who would then become his boss? I just don't think that dynamic would work personally, and that's what
I'm really glad
towards McNulty as well, because he's a young manager who seems to be a nice chap.
Absolutely buzzing that you've touched on that, because as much as we're all buzzing to see who the new manager is going to be, we all want answers. We all want the transfer window to get going. Want to see some signings, see how the squad's going to look. But at the same time, what we do really need very soon is the inevitable interview with Damien Allen, because there's a lot. Literally everything. We want to know everything about his approach, about what his focus is going to be, what exactly his role is going to be, whether that differs to director of football, being a sporting director, all of that. That's probably what I'm most. But at the same time, I don't think there's much. I'm just convinced it's going to be McNulty. I'm not really looking past him. I know the odd Orient fan seems to have cropped up on their forum today, saying, "Oh yeah, he's in talks." These are like new posters who like don't have a track record of of anything. Yeah. There's talk of the compensation for Wellens being anything between 500,000 and 1 million, which is a lot. Right. Someone's mentioned it in the comments, so I probably should. Mark Hughes.
Failed in League Two, failed in National League. Next.
Yeah, he did fail it. Now, I am not for a minute. So, I mean, there's not many appointments where I'd think, right, I'll find something else to do with my Saturdays. Mark Hughes would have me like scouting local non-league games and seeing what I can get down to. But Mark Hughes this season got more points in the National League than we got when we won it. But we'll give him that.
Yeah, but we've got to. That's got an asterisk next to it with the season started with Simon Rusk. Has to.
That's true. That's very true. But yeah, did they get 95 points or something, which is mental for not even.
Mental. Imagine getting that, not even not getting up. But you could say that you could have said that about Rochdale had they not won the playoffs. What we're guaranteeing
Mark Hughes would be absolutely
is late goals.
Yes, and set pieces. And a cracking bit of... it comes across as a very good motivator. To be able to, after that heartache against York, to be able to lift those players and get them to go again in the playoffs and then win. And then in the playoff final, it looked like it was all over. And still... give me that, please.
Yeah. Paul White's just come up with an interesting point. Has anyone seen any of the players thanking DC or wishing him luck in his next role other than Lewis Bate? Now that I think about it, which I haven't done, I haven't seen anybody mention it other than Lewis Bate.
Well, I think it's one of them. I think because this doesn't happen that often to us, because we don't go through this situation, which is mad to think, but we've... Like, how many times has like a legendary manager left recently? It's Jim and Dave Challinor, but before that, you're going back to Jim previously, like a much loved manager leaving. I do think it'll be. Can someone go back and see how many Rusk got when he left? But you would imagine players
0.
are probably away on holiday. Yeah, the players are probably away on holiday, and then I'm sure there will be. I'd imagine there's some sort of media pack that they get given where they get told how to phrase it and things to.
And when somebody, I can't remember who it was it Victor Anichebe? I've just plucked that name out of thin air, but he tweeted. His tweet said, "Tweet something along the lines of," and then copy paste you.
Yeah, I think Julian Lescott did something similar when Villa got relegated as well. Yeah, just stunning. Just read, lads. Come on. So on to then the. Are we? Is it going to be like with the Pope? You know, with the smoke and what? Are we going to have like? I'd love it if the club posted like smoke coming out the chimney of Vernon Bear's hut in the woods. And it's like, oh, it's time. It's time. It does seem that I'm convinced that Sam Byrne saying McNulty and 2 other names is just
the shortlist,
just in case. Yeah. I mean, everything particularly coming from. So people get on. I'm really intrigued by the idea of doing an episode on the art of the rumor, like because people seem to know stuff, and then people take that as the club being leaky. But it seems most of the time it comes from fans of other clubs. Like anything I've ever, on the rare occasions I've known something before it's been common knowledge, it's come from someone from another club.
Yeah.
Just people have mouths at other clubs, they don't care. And it's absolutely full of it with Rochdale fans. They're convinced there's been contact for months, which wouldn't surprise me. It just seems that's the way it's going. And even the Rochdale fans can sort of see why, even though they despise us, they can sort of see why it's an attractive job. There's obviously that fear that, well, if he fails, is it going to be like Keith Hill? If he leaves there and fails, then... But you think most of it's set up. We've got it's very rare that we get to change manager from a position of strength.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't
our last few
really?
Appointments have been that, which has been mad. Yeah. Most clubs don't get one or two. You don't get one or two of those in a fan's lifetime, And we've had it several times where we've been in a strong position already and are just after someone to take us to the next level. A lot of people seem to want proven Championship and League One pedigree. Who would that include, do you think?
I've seen the name Gary Rowett be mentioned, which made me nearly fall
The
off
Leicester
my chair.
manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. There's a reason, it's all well and good saying, what a Championship manager, and then like you've just done, go on, give me a name. There's never a name.
No.
Okay, there's never a name because everyone.
If Mark Robbins wasn't at Stoke, he'd interest me a lot.
Yeah.
But he's at Stoke, so
Exactly.
it probably won't be in like September, October. But we could do with someone now, I think.
Yeah. Do you think now this isn't me wishing the next manager to do not well, obviously. I think when Jim left, obviously it's an impossible act to follow. You've seen it with Fergie at United. They've never recovered. You expect City to go through similar. Klopp left Liverpool. They won the league the year after, fine. But then when Slot got his full handprint on the club, it all went tits up. What I'm saying is there a danger that whoever's the next manager isn't really our next manager and that they're set up to fail because of the success of Challinor for someone else to then come in and then really push on?
You'd imagine, because the talk coming from Rochdale was that it's McNulty's unless he shits the bed, essentially, and you would expect that is what might give him, cause to reconsider. But I suppose you've got to back yourself, haven't you?
Absolutely.
I suppose you have to if you're a manager who believes in yourself. And let's not forget he's on a high at the moment as well. His stock has never been higher.
Yeah,
McNulty. So it's the perfect. He could end up mid table to bottom half of Rochdale next season, which would represent a success for them. But coming off the back of winning a promotion and then being at a level at what they see is their rightful level, then his stock could easily be low.
We have to remember when Challinor took us over in National League, he'd only had 2-3 months at a Football League level back then. Yeah. I know, right? He grew with us, but you've just got to take a risk sometimes, take a gamble. Don't forget, Jason Taylor's been his assistant, also is a winner at this club, along with McNulty. So we
need an academy director as well. So Gaz Owen,
our friend Gaz Owen, friend of the show.
Yeah, just get the band back together.
Yeah.
What's Adam Proudlock doing? Don't ask that question. Let's not ask the question of what Adam Proudlock's doing because the answer's not going to be suitable for this. It's not going to be suitable for this time of night, whatever he's doing.
Yeah. But no, I think it's a really exciting time, to be honest. But it's just, again, I've said it before, I implore all fans, whoever it is, get behind him. When we mentioned Jim McNulty last week, I said it does feel a little bit underwhelming. Since thinking on it every day, I can't think of anybody else who I'd rather have. No. Because there's not that big a pool of managers out there, realistic ones that would come. I just think it's a good time to have a change at the club and let's get behind whoever it is. And let's not call him Jim McNumpty because that's a really dickhead thing to do.
It's interesting, because the money has been a large part of Dave Challinor being able to achieve. He's been well backed. We can't deny that. But we have reached a level where the money isn't going to. We're not that well backed compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
So the money isn't going to be the be all and end all. But if it's someone like McNulty who sort of is keen on developing players that we can sell on, it all comes down again to this. Not sustainability, but being more sustainable than we are. It all comes down to that again. And obviously, there's new financial rules, and what you spend on your manager's wage gets factored into that, which is a big. We could get some very creative accounting on the go here, which I'm all for.
To talk about wages, we were talking about in another group of men. We were talking about wages. So if you take Simon Wilson. And then take Damien Allen doing the same job. If you take away the CEO bit that Wilson was doing towards the end, on paper they're doing the same job. Therefore, pay should be equal. But surely, the wealth of experience, contacts, everything that Wilson brought to the table was worth a lot of money. Do we think? And we'll never know the answer to this. Or do you think Alan will be on significantly less targets pending?
Yeah, you'd expect so. You'd expect if he hits certain targets, then there might even if a lot of his remit is based on developing players and selling them on, we might see a return to the old clause of getting a percentage of any profit, which people didn't like when it was Jim Gannon who had it, but it might be different now. I'm really excited to hear from Damien. Genuinely, really excited. I think that's going to be a dead interesting one.
Do you think that will follow the announcement of the manager will own it? You would assume.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? It's just a matter of when now, really, isn't it? I think you'd hope it's. I mean, when are the players back in training? End of June, is it?
I think they said towards the end of June. Are you frozen? Looks like Nick's frozen. Who do we think Dave Challinor will go to next? Victoria, you froze, Nick, so I thought I'd ask everybody where do you think Challinor's going next. I think Blackburn's the obvious shout, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems as though there's been contact. Well, we'll nip this in the bud. Let's stop calling Blackburn a basket case, shall we?
Yeah.
They finished 7th a year ago. They were one place away from the playoffs to the Premier League a year ago. That's not full on basket case.
No. Sheffield Wednesday, Leicester. They want a word about what a basket case clubs look like recently.
Yeah, and it seems he said first, didn't he, that he's off on holiday with his family and stuff, like as you'd imagine. But it could be a case of September, October comes round, one or both of those Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday jobs are going to be available.
Yeah.
I'd think Sheffield Wednesday. I know they've sort of committed to sticking with Pedersen. You can sort of see why, but at the same time, would you not want to have a clear eye? Interestingly, Pedersen was also linked with the Blackburn job at one point.
Was he?
Like in the last few weeks, yeah, which is absolutely hilarious.
That is mad. I think there's going to have been some kind of handshake between Challinor, Wilson, and Stott to Wilson to say, "You're not coming to raid me when you go Sheffield Wednesday," and same to Challinor. Don't go to a club and then come and offer all the players. Let's give it at least till January before you start.
What odds can we get on Dave Challinor and Louis Barry both turning up at Blackburn?
Well, where was the partnership? Was it Challinor and Barry, or was it Stott and Barry?
No, I think it's a bit of both, Dave. It's a bit of both.
Yeah,
I think, but I'm all for that. Get Challinor to Blackburn now and get Barry done. Get it boxed off so we can talk about other stuff all summer.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Also, rumour mill, Ethan Pye rumoured to be being sold. Don't know who to.
Yeah. As soon as Sam said last week that there's been a contract on the table for like 6 months, and it was a case of waiting to see what league we're in. It's as soon as I saw the Pete O'Rourke saying he's been offered a new.
I'm glad he did that because it might hike his price up a bit.
Well, that's definitely why it's been done. I'm not having it that it's anything else. It seems that Minotti is not people's first choice. People are genuinely baffled by it, but I think people are going to be baffled by whoever the appointment is because we're thinking a bit more sensible this time. We're not feeling the need to raise our profile by just going for a big name and everything, which I like. I welcome. I'm all for it. So Phil, this is courtesy of Phil County on Yellowboard actually. So it's reasons to be positive about Jim McNulty. He's a former player, which tends to give a manager a bit more grace if things aren't going well. Not that there's a suggestion that'd be the case. 106 points this season, playing attacking football. Big fan.
Yep.
Rebuilt a team that was relegated and got them promoted relatively quickly compared to us, at least.
Yeah.
Because the absolute state of that Rochdale team that got relegated, to have them up again so quick Yeah, fair enough. Can't argue with that. Was well backed at Rochdale, but not to the extent that ourselves and Wrexham were at that level. Proven he can win a Wembley final this season.
Nice.
Ding.
Tick.
Proven he can win a Wembley final with County. Double tick.
Yeah.
Go
First man to win at Wembley as a player and manager.
There we go. Right, that's it. Ian Dowd has made a very good point. I went back actually.
Said no one ever. Sorry, it was too easy.
Don't think anyone was over the moon when DC came in. Fingers crossed it works out just as well. Yeah, I went and looked back at the thread on Yellowboard when Dave Challinor, the thread on Yellowboard that was started hilariously by a Hartlepool fan. Say he's not going anywhere. Dream on, you're a tiny club. He's not going anywhere. To this massive climb down a week later. Basically waited for him to climb down and then banned them from the board. It was a fantastic week. Just this gradual. Well, yeah. Money does talk, and then just full on meltdown. But yeah, there was a lot of people who weren't enthused. Then myself included, and it all worked out well. There is not a manager called Ruben Sellers. There is, however, a manager called Ruben Sellers, who I'm not convinced exists, because I only ever hear of him getting sacked and then getting another championship job. Don't know what he does.
Yeah.
Not having it.
Bet he's loaded because all of his sackings.
I know, living the fucking dream. Absolute dream.
Just going back to when Challinor joined, I remember I went to the fans forum. In fact, were you there as well? I think we were there, weren't we?
Yes, I think we were the Challinor one, yeah.
I remember he just looked out into the fans that were there and just said, "We're getting promoted this season." And we were something like 12th in the National League, loads of points off. I remember thinking, yeah, you've got to say that. But within a few weeks, you believed it. He changed it around. We'll come on to his games in a bit, but he came here to do a job, get us back into the Football League. I don't think anybody would have expected him to have been the one to take us to the next level in terms of maybe getting to the Championship when we're in the National League. But he nearly was that man. And I just think he's, again, between him, Jim, Danny Bagara, you can argue amongst yourselves. Every answer is correct on that front. Nobody is wrong. But for me, it's Dave Challinor. But I accept everybody else in the argument also.
Yeah, it's all very. It all comes down to emotions and personal attachment. I think with a lot of it. Yeah, it's one of them debates that could just run on. But he's definitely put, as Mark Stott said, he's put himself in that list of legends now. And the way in which it's been done as well. Sort of wouldn't be surprised. He may end up back in the future. Do
you know I've said that?
We might need him to get us out of the National League again.
Yeah. After Jim McNulty taking us down. No.
Get it in my veins. Get it in my veins now. But if we'll say if, just in case we get made to look like dickheads. So if it is McNulty, how are you feeling about that?
Better now than it was a week ago, for reasons you've just said. Really, I've spent a bit of time looking at what he's done. Obviously, I knew he got promoted with Rochdale, but how did he do it? What did he do? And look, he's a young for a manager. He knows the club. He knows County. He knows how to win at County. He knows how to win as a manager. 100 points plus. Why would you not? A bad manager doesn't do that, whatever level you're at. And we'll give him the backing. He's got a great squad of players to play attacking football. And going back to what you said before and what you asked before, I think there's some players in this team that might have been overlooked last year that could really come alive with any new manager, but specifically Jim McNulty with the attacking football he plays. Admittedly, I've not watched lots of Jim McNulty football, but in the playoffs I did. And yeah, I think it's really, really good.
Expect a back three as well. We've already been linked with Kyron Gordon, who, from what I can tell, is a right wing back, I believe, which might further Dave Challinor's theory that Dacres Cogley would be the perfect right centre back.
Yeah.
So so there's still plenty that can be done with the players that we've got. A lot of the players we've recruited have been with that system in mind. So if it looks like the new manager would do a nice bit of continuity, I quite like it. Yeah, I don't think there's a single what. If it had been one of the big celebrity ones, it would have pissed me off for the exact reason that not even based on their managerial ability, just based on the whole circus around it. That would have annoyed me. A youth coach would have annoyed me because we've all got long-standing PTSD.
Yeah,
both mental and physical. But I don't know. There's something. I don't know if it's the romance of him being an ex-player as well. The whole thing of him like working his way up through the levels.
yeah.
I don't know. Just something I really like about it. I'll be really I think I would actually be annoyed if it was Wellens. But like we said before, it just doesn't seem like we're making that much of a change.
Yeah. I've actually got a match worn long sleeve Jim McNulty shirt upstairs. It's been on
Not for
Vinted. It's been on Vinted for about 4 months. Loads of favourites, no serious offers. Anyway, when it became clear that he was going to become manager, I took it off, ready to re-upload it at a hiked price now. So you've all missed your chance.
Oh, I might have a gander at that anyway. We'll see if it's still there next payday. We'll see what's going on. But before we wrap up, then we should take a look back at the reign of Dave Challinor. So just high after high after. I went and looked back through the fixtures, and record-breaking runs. Those points that every county promotion team has, where they're just banging 5 or 6, or sometimes 8. Past opposition, that sort of thing. What have people been submitting to you when you've asked them, Dave?
So I asked, fan favourites. We've called this segment. I asked in the WhatsApp group I'm in. Stockport County Last Man Standing. Join it if you want. Message me on Twitter. But I asked them what their favourite games was. The overriding favourite was Bolton 5-3 in the FA Cup.
Yeah, same. That's my favourite county game ever. So,
it's a boring answer. But Bolton at home in the FA Cup felt like a massive fuse had been lit that night. Thought that was really nicely put. Eastleigh away, I absolutely agree with that. It was an amazing day in the sun that we flew to. Not we, the players, much to delve into his disgust. And a curveball, 4-2 at home to Wealdstone. Then we were 2-0 down, went on to win 4-2. Chesterfield, I've tried to do it chronologically, so these are all National League, but we get to other ones also. Chesterfield away, especially when the news broke that Boreham Wood had equalised against Wrexham. It was a great day, was there also. Torquay at home, which just speaks for itself in the National League. What a night that was. Crewe away, where we won 2-0. Felt very cathartic winning there after we'd been relegated from League 2 there. So that was a good one. Rochdale away, 2-0, where Will Collar scored. Sutton 8-0 that you just mentioned. With a Paddy Madden hat-trick and I believe Crowsdale a quick-fire double. After his
early on, because Crowsdale was playing in the 10. And you thought, Dave Challinor's lost it. He's finally gone mental.
And then who was that player on loan?
Joe Cottrell.
Yeah, he scored from far, didn't he? Then we've got Orient away, where we just missed out on automatics and then lost in the playoffs that season. We've got both 5-0s, Bolton and Wrexham. Got Exeter away last season. Great atmosphere, great match. Shit half time, but it's not about Dave Philbin. This is about Dave Challinor, so it's not about my race woes. Colchester away on a Tuesday night was special. Mad to go all the way on a Tuesday night, but was pretty much secured after that win. And then we moved to League One. Blackpool away 3-0. Unbelievable. County shirts absolutely everywhere. Genuinely felt like we were United or Liverpool that day. Port Vale away this season. Someone said they thought we'd win the league after that. Stevenage away this season in the playoffs just for that last-minute goal. But my favourite contribution to this specific question was Dave Harris. He said, this batch of fixtures, serious contender for the best 2 weeks of my life. And it starts with Sutton away 3-1. Then we go to Colchester. Then we play Morecambe at home. Then we go to Notts County to win the league. And then we lift the trophy at home against Accrington. And that was the best 2 weeks of his life. And it's hard to argue with that. 2 weeks was fantastic, littered with when we were doing a pitch invasion. But it was fantastic nonetheless. And it made me realise doing that today how much I've forgotten from his tenure, just how good it is, and it made me that little bit more worried that he's leaving. But just as a message from me to Dave Challinor, if you are watching somewhere, thanks, Dave. You've been fucking great.
Yeah, it has been such a great, like, nearly 5 years. I mean, we've had about 10 years now of consistently winning more games than we lose, and he just took that to another level. And for all he was well backed and everything, he's managed. I mean, some of the players he got a tune out of were players that we didn't think anyone. And the likes of Odin Bailey, the likes of Miles Hippolyte, these aren't the flashy signings. I mean,
No.
we could talk till the cows come home about, not getting the best. Like, some of the players we've not managed to get a tune of, and I'm sure we could debate forever just how much say he's had in them signings and what have you. But what he did achieve, and even this season where the adversity we went through, and that's another thing that will be revealed in the future. Now we'll work out what the injury situation is. If we carry on having injuries this season, Dave Challinor's training methods weren't the problem. That's what I'm most excited for this season.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I wanted. I'm going to be on injury watch. Right, we'll make that a thing. We'll do a jingle and everything for that.
Nick,
But yeah, this adversity, yeah, fantastic.
what was your favourite Challinor moment?
I enjoyed him
Game,
telling the Huddersfield
moment,
fans to fuck
anything.
off.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. Leading the players on the pitch at Notts County after the game was fantastic. Even, I mean, it sort of doesn't get mentioned as much because of what came in the weeks afterwards. But the first game at Bolton, the first FA Cup game,
Yeah.
to play as we did against the side two leagues. Were they two leagues?
Yeah,
above us
two
or
leagues.
one? Two leagues above us. Yeah, they're in League One. 2 leagues above, and then come back, sort of get thrown under the bus by a poor goalkeeper. Oh, that's a theme. Get thrown under the bus by a poor goalkeeper and still manage to come away and get the replay, and then to get thrown under the bus by that poor goalkeeper again, and win that. Nothing. I don't think any experience in it. And obviously, there's things we can achieve that'll mean more to me than that Bolton game. But just that was everything football should be. That under the floodlights, packed stadium, go 2-0 down early on to, let's face it, some hilarious. I mean, two of their 3 goals were fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but to come back from that, and even at 2-0 down, the belief that he'd given us, that the whole ground was getting behind the team, even at 2-0 down, the whole ground was singing. We've not seen that since, and probably never will again, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was just so special. Alex Scott was there.
Yeah. Someone robbed the FA Cup offer.
Some of the FA Cup, just everything. What more could you want?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's very much earned the opportunity to. I really hope he gets a championship job. I think he's been overlooked a lot. Not to go down that route, but if his name was Dave Challinor, then
It is. He'd
he'd probably be on Carlo Ancelotti's coaching staff for Brazil right now if he was.
Yeah.
But yes, so that not only does it bring the episode to an end, it brings the Dave Challinor reign to an end. Don't be sad it's over. Smile because it's happened, and all other assorted cliches. But really excited. I was starting to get to a point last season where it was feeling like a proper slog. I feel like I've had a health scare now. I feel like I'm going to start eating all bran and going running.
I'll see you there.
Wild.
For a run with me.
Maybe I will come for a run with you. I just need to buy one of them things to put my phone on my arm because I don't want to drop it.
Yeah, I've got one of them.
We'll get on that. We'll get on that. Right, we will be back as and when we're not stopping throughout the close season. We'll be back as and when there is information. I think that's the best way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as there's no new manager announcement tomorrow.
Well, no, they'll do it at about 9:15 tonight now.
Oh, you watch, they will, won't they?
Yeah. If they do, just go on the same
tomorrow,
link you went on before. It'll be fine.
Yeah. In case they've done it tomorrow. Welcome to Stockport County Gym at Nulty. It's great to have you on board, and we look forward to a long and successful reign.
Should I
I've got that from the
cover?
Football Manager screen, haven't I? Word for word.
Very good. That I thought I recognised that. Should I do the other end of it just in case it's not that?
Yes, please.
Bill fucking Neville, are you joking? Covered it all. We'll just cut both of them out, and whichever that's our reaction video sorted.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, excellent. Right, Dave, thank you for joining us.
Cheers, thank you, Nick.
Cheers, thank you for for the last time. Yes, the final ever cheers, thank you just came from Dave. Then that was a moment.
I asked Chris Eaton today actually if he's got any spare time, if he could do a compilation of every single cheers, thank you that we got from Dave Challinor. So
I love how he texted you back saying I'm on holiday, but didn't say I'm on holiday so I can't.
Yeah.
It's like I'm on holiday, so I'll probably do it quicker because I'm in a good mood. Yeah, that'll be in the inboxes any point now. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in tonight for this special episode. Thank you especially to everyone who tuned in last week as well. Got some very nice comments about last week's episode. It's very much appreciated. And no one emailed us with questions we should have asked, which is always a worry when you have like a big guest when there's stuff to ask. You always worry you'll get like the next day someone will go, "Oh, did you ask this?" But good.
Ticked them all off.
Hashtag journalism. Right, we will be back as and when there is stuff to report. And then obviously once the new season starts, we'll be back to our usual Sunday nights at 8. Keep an eye on the socials over the next couple of weeks. There's a live event that will be coming up in the next couple of months. Venue sorted, just picking a date. So we'll do that. Keep an eye on all of that. Thank you for tuning in. Dave, say goodbye to everybody.
Just wondering, will we be doing any England-related World Cup podcasts?
I think we'll, yeah. I've worked out that I can watch one of the 3 group games.
Oh.
Well, I can watch a whole group game, and I can watch the first half of the other 2. So in total, I'll be involved for 2 games, which is more than Scotland will be. So can't do that with Mrs. Scottish. She's going to kill me now. Right, we will be back soon. Dave, say goodbye to everyone, mate.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Dave Challinor.
Goodbye, Dave Challinor. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, us. See you soon.